Did you know that in America, 61% of people who make over $250,000 a year, the kind of massive money most people only dream about, don't drive the flashy luxury SUVs you see on the streets? Instead, they drive ordinary, everyday sedans that nobody would even turn to look at. You're stuck in awful Monday morning traffic, waiting at a red light. To your left, there's a massive, pristine luxury SUV with jet black tinted windows looking fresh off the factory floor. To your right, a 10-year-old sedan with a small dent in the bumper. What was your very first gut reflex? You looked at the guy on the left and thought, wow, I wonder how much money he has, didn't you? It is exactly because of this automatic reflex that we are all collectively drawn into a massive illusion. Because the reality is actually the exact opposite. The person behind the wheel of that shiny SUV is probably not wealthy. They are likely working day and night without stopping just to afford the loan, insurance, and maintenance costs of that car. It took us only seconds to make that judgment. Before I explain with striking statistics why truly wealthy people avoid luxury cars and showing off and how they flip the system on its head, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you don't miss out on financial awareness videos like this one, my friend. Now, if you're ready, let's dive into the hidden, dark side of the iceberg. 40% of people in America who earn six-figure salaries, those said to have made it in life, are still living paycheck to paycheck. When we look at the general population, this rate jumps to 60%. This means the obsession with looking rich forced upon us by society is actually quietly eroding the middle class. Seriously, is there anyone left in the middle class around you? I haven't seen one in a very long time. Everyone is playing the role of being rich to one another, and they are paying the bill for this lie by going into debt. So, how does this invisible bankruptcy begin? It starts right with that piece of plastic in our wallets. Currently, America's credit card debt is at a mind-boggling level of $1.28 trillion. When you walk through the door of an average household, you are hit with a mountain of debt exceeding $100,000. On top of that, interest rates are hovering around 21%. In other words, people aren't actually buying those items. They are literally trading years of their lives to the banks just to look like they could buy them. If you try to clear a $6,000 balance by making only the minimum payments, that debt can stretch out to nearly 10 years with the compounding interest. In the end, the money coming out of your pocket ends up being many times the price on the tag. You aren't buying a phone or a bag. You are handed a heavy, long-term bill for your future self. You are mortgaging your future labor for a past whim. And these luxury expenses never come alone. We call this the lifestyle creep or the Diderot effect. Let's say your income increases and you move to a nicer neighborhood, into a cooler apartment. That old couch, which looked perfectly fine and comfortable to you until that moment, suddenly becomes an eyesore in the middle of the new apartment. You say, this couch doesn't go with this house. You haven't just increased your rent, new furniture to match the building, luxury restaurants your neighbors frequent, and vacations suited to your new status follow right behind. A single purchasing decision opens the doors to a massive, self-feeding ecosystem of spending, and once you step through that door, turning back from that high standard becomes psychologically almost impossible. Then there's the social media aspect of it. Nowadays, wealth almost doesn't feel real unless it collects likes. People spend thousands of dollars just to pretend they live luxury lives. But in reality, they can't even pay their bills. There is an even darker, highly risky side to this that nobody talks about. Those who openly share their wealth on social media become the #1 victims of targeted cyber attacks known in the cybersecurity world as whale hunting. Showing off means giving fraudsters and thieves a free target profile by saying, I have money. On the other hand, those who fly under the radar by keeping a low profile safely protect their wealth without being noticed. Here is a quick question for you. Which of these two are you closer to right now? The side that flaunts money they don't have, or the side that quietly saves for their future? I can't wait to see your answer in the comments because the distinction we are about to talk about determines the exact outcome of this game. Data shows that teachers become millionaires more often than doctors. Doctors feel forced to look appropriate for the money they earn, and the mold society locks them into. Driving. Expensive cars and living in big houses is perceived almost as a necessity. All their effort goes into maintaining their image. Teachers, however, are completely free from this social pressure. Since nobody expects a luxury lifestyle from them, they can quietly save what they earn and grow it like a snowball through the right investments. The absence of the pressure to show off gives them a financial superpower. There is also an invisible tax on looking wealthy that you never notice but pay for your whole life. When you show up in front of a mechanic or a contractor in a luxury car, you will never be given the standard price. The price tag they give you is shaped not by the money in your wallet, but by the car you drive and the watch on your wrist. This is exactly what lies behind Warren Buffett living in the same modest house for decades and driving older model cars, the massive advantage of bargaining power and invisibility. He invests his wealth not in material things, but in his freedom. Let's make the math a bit clearer. When you buy an $80,000 luxury vehicle just to look expensive instead of a normal $30,000 car, you aren't just paying an extra $50,000. You are also destroying the chance for that $50,000 to grow in the stock market or a bank account for 25 years. This actually translates to a loss of wealth worth roughly $270,000. Meaning, the moment you take that car key into your hand, you are actually selling your retirement and the future years you would spend with your family. You are trading your freedom for heated leather seats. There is only one way out of this game: the stealth wealth strategy. The day you get a raise or a bonus, take control of the money immediately. That very week, direct half of the increase straight into investments and continue living your old lifestyle with the rest. It will look like nothing has changed from the outside. Your standard of living remains the same. But in the background, your wealth begins to grow quietly. No matter how much your income increases, determine beforehand what is enough for you. Let's say you know a $60,000 lifestyle makes you happy and you start earning $150,000. If you don't bury that difference into showing off, that money can truly set you free within a few years. Because true wealth is not accumulating luxury goods. It is buying options. It is the power to say no to a toxic boss without a second thought, the freedom to step away from work for a while to dedicate time to your family. Our goal is not to look rich, it is to be free. Because true wealth is usually quiet. The one that screams is only the fake one. True power doesn't even need to whisper. Why does the human brain knowingly inflict this harm upon itself? Why can't we stop spending money we don't have to impress people who don't care about us, and perhaps don't even know us? The answer lies hidden within our evolutionary biology and the most primitive corners of our brains. Thousands of years ago, when we lived in tribes, being cast out of the community meant certain death. Having a status and a voice was the only way to access the best meat and the safest shelter. Today, the modern world triggers this exact primitive impulse. When you look at a luxury handbag in a storefront window or a sports car driving down the street, your brain doesn't just see an object, it sees power, respect, and a guarantee of survival. The algorithms of the digital age are well aware of this vulnerability. Every like button and every swipe-up action delivers instant hits of dopamine to your brain. Dopamine is the chemical that triggers our reward mechanism, but it possesses a highly dangerous flaw. It can never be satisfied. The immense rush of excitement you feel when buying a new phone lasts only a few days, maybe a few weeks. After that, the brain resets this level as the new normal and begins to crave the next model. Financial slavery is built precisely upon this vicious cycle. People frequently confuse wealth with income level. They say, "I make $20,000 a month, therefore I am rich." No, you are not rich. You are simply a high-income slave. If you are spending your entire salary, you are fundamentally no different from a homeless person in terms of financial literacy. In fact, you are likely stuck in a much deeper pit of debt. Real wealth is not the money you earn. It is the money you do not spend. The formula for financial freedom is simple, but its execution requires an iron will. While everyone around you is swept away by the intoxication of luxury consumerism, you must quietly, patiently, and with discipline build your own financial fortress in your corner. This is not a scenario of deprivation. On the contrary, it is the art of sacrificing temporary pleasures for a greater purpose, lifelong happiness and absolute independence. Financial masks and the strategy of invisibility. As Seneca, the poet-philosopher and one of history's greatest financial minds, once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." The exaggerated logos, massive brand emblems, and flashy accessories we see on the streets today are actually financial masks. Truly powerful and established wealth owners refuse to act as walking billboards for brands. In financial literature, this concept is known as the law of hidden capital. A billionaire wearing a plain t-shirt with no visible logo but exceptional fabric quality is virtually indistinguishable from someone earning minimum wage from the outside. This indistinguishability grants them the greatest armor of the capitalist world: invisibility. When you are invisible, you step right out of the marketer's crosshairs. You free yourself from the financial demands and loan requests of relatives. You avoid being grouped into the flashy minority that states or systems sacrifice first during times of crisis. The first step to achieving this mindset is grasping the difference between net worth and visible value. Your visible value is everything people see out in the open: your car, your house, your clothes. Your net worth, however, is the actual cash, stocks, real estate, and investments left over after subtracting all your liabilities and debts. People caught in the rat race expend all their energy trying to increase their visible value because they crave external applause. The stealth wealthy, meanwhile, deliberately keep their visible value low while growing their net worth underground like a tree spreading massive roots. From the outside, they may look like a dry branch, but those deep roots make them completely unshakable against any economic storm. Time arbitrage and buying the future. Once you crack the relationship between money and time, you begin to see life through a completely different lens. Most people earn money by selling their hours. They work 8 hours a day and receive a wage in return. Then they take that wage and buy a luxury dinner or a premium pair of shoes. In reality, they didn't buy those shoes with currency. They spent exactly 15 hours of their life in an office to get them, perhaps tolerating a miserable manager they don't even like. This is known as the time cost. Before purchasing anything, look past the price tag and calculate exactly how many hours you need to work to afford it. If a phone demands 2 months of your labor, that phone will not make you more productive. Instead, it will trap you in that job for an extra 2 months. The truly wealthy use their money to buy back time. This is called time arbitrage. When passive income from investments successfully covers their bills, they no longer have to work just to survive. When they wake up in the morning, they possess the ultimate luxury of doing whatever they please. Is it greater wealth to drive the world's most expensive car through gridlock traffic at 7 a.m. just to get to a job you hate? Or is it greater wealth to drive a regular 15-year-old car while completely controlling all 24 hours of your day? The answer is obvious. Yet, the system constantly conditions us to desire the first option. Because for the system to keep spinning, it needs you to stay in debt. And to stay in debt, it needs you to constantly consume. The rat race escape map and financial flow. Escaping this consumerist madness and joining the ranks of secret millionaires requires radical, deliberate steps. 1. Freeze lifestyle. Creep. As you rise in your career and your salary increases, show the discipline to keep your expenses at the exact same level. If your income increases by 50% this year, raise your living standard by only 5%. Divert the remaining 45% directly into investment funds, stocks, or real estate where the system cannot easily track your wealth. The magic of making money work for you lies here. The power of compound interest grows like a snowball over time. Savings that seem negligible at first will transform into a massive financial freedom fund by the end of a decade, allowing you to resign from your job, launch your own business, or travel the world. 2. Manage social pressure. Never allow subtle snubs or comments from friends, colleagues, or social media, such as, "Why are you still driving that old car?" or "Why aren't you going on this vacation?" to dictate your choices. The more they assume you are falling behind, the stronger you are actually becoming financially. Remember, the true tragedy is looking rich on the outside while drowning in a sea of debt on the inside, unable to sleep at night. True luxury is the unshakable peace of mind that comes from knowing your money is working hard for you even while your head is on the pillow. 3. Deploy a financial filtering system. The modern world subjects us to a continuous, invisible bombardment of consumption. One click. Ordering on e-commerce apps and digital subscriptions silently withdrawing money from your card are all carefully engineered to loosen your spending muscles. To break this trap, implement the 48-hour rule. Whenever a luxury or discretionary purchase idea pops into your head, Add the item to your cart, but do not hit buy for exactly 48 hours. You will find that once that initial wave of dopamine recedes, you will realize you didn't actually need the object at all. This practice breaks the habit of impulsive buying, preventing a massive leak in your budget. So, what are the other hidden signs in the lives of these truly wealthy people who stay away from showing off and possess this quiet power? If you're curious about this, you can click on my video, 10 Signs of Rich People Who Look Poor, appearing on the screen right now, and discover those secrets immediately. See you there.